The way the script is right now, I would have to write three separate procedures to lock, translate, rotate, and scale, and then three more procedures to unlock, translate, rotate, and scale. I can set this up so that instead I can write one procedure to lock and one procedure to unlock. The trick is that in my setAttribute command, I am adding each variable to this plus.tx for translate x. So what I have to do is I have to be able to replace this t with a variable. This is where, finally, after all these years, the variable that we're going to call in the parentheses is going to come in handy. I'm going to change my procedure a little bit. Let's get rid of this transl and we'll just call it lock. In the procedure, I'm going to call a string variable. We'll call it my attr for my attribute. Now up here, instead of saying lock, I will say lock t. So every time this variable is called, it replaces itself with a t. Down here in the script, this gets a little annoying to write out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each variable, the name of each object, add it to a dot, plus, then we put in that $, my attribute variable, and add that to the channel that we want to use. So I'll take this, copy this whole line, and then replace this with it, replace this with it, and now I can just replace this with a y, this with a z, and then up here in the buttons, I will copy this. We'll do one for rotate, replace this with an R, one for scale, and replace this with an S. Alrighty, let's test this out. I will Control A, Control Enter. Here is my new window with three gorgeous buttons. Again, I'll just make a bunch of objects, and now I can lock translate, lock rotate, and lock scale. How wonderful was that? I only had to write one procedure, and because I can call this variable here in the parentheses, I can use the same procedure for translate, rotate, and scale. Now your procedure is going to get a little bit more complicated because I want you to have buttons that lock and buttons that unlock, and I think it would be handy for you to also have that visibility channel, and the command for that is going to be ever so slightly different. So I do want you to figure a few things out, but I think that this will give you a good basis for a lock and unlock script.